Hello everyone, I'm Lily. I'm a realtor for Greater Toronto Area and I work here with my business partner and best friend, Maria. Collectively together, we have more than 40 years of experience in the real estate world. From investing to buying, selling, development, you just name it, and we love it. We like to customize the experience of our clients when it comes to the real estate needs. Because to generalize a city like Toronto, it's very difficult because Toronto has different pockets with completely different characteristics. And that's exactly why in our videos, usually we go to more details of each neighborhood and even different areas within that neighborhood, areas that might be overlooked by a casual browse on Google. One area that people often miss or overlook is Deer Park, right at the tail end of Rosedale. I personally, being from this neighborhood, I consider Deer Park part of Rosedale Summerhill area. So Deer Park technically starts from Balmoral Avenue and ends at Davisville. On the east side, where we are right now, which is called the Vale of Avoca, is where Deer Park boundary is on the east. On the west side, we have Avenue Road. So it's relatively a small area, but the population density is quite high, is around more than 15,000 people live in this small neighborhood. So the significance of this neighborhood is basically it is an extension of Rosedale. So people that like the Rosedale, Summerhill, Moore Park kind of living, or even Forest Hill, they can find a combination of all these neighborhoods in this little pocket in the city. So I'm introducing Deer Park because often we get comments like Rosedale doesn't have enough inventory when it comes to condos and smaller homes. So Deer Park is an extension. So you can easily find variety of condos, rental and condominiums to buy, and also smaller homes, townhomes, semi-detached homes. So Deer Park gives more options. It gives variety within the same mothership of Rosedale. People that don't live in Toronto or they are moving to Toronto, they often mix the midtown vibe of Yonge and Eglinton with places like even Davisville Village. These are different characteristics. So when we come more south to Deer Park, it becomes more green, quieter, with many more options in terms of sizes of the apartments, because Yonge and Eglinton area is mostly small condensed apartments, junior one bedrooms and studio apartments. But when it gets to Deer Park, it becomes more family. It becomes more like either couples or couples with children or older people. It suits everybody because there is plenty of green space. And as you can see here, I'm standing in the middle of Deer Park and it feels like a beautiful cottage country. So David Balfour Park is more than 20 hectares of green space. Vale of Avoca that we just talked about is within the David Balfour Park. 20 hectares of pure greenery right in the middle of the city is quite amazing. It goes all the way to Moore Park in Rosedale, Summerhill. It goes all the way to Mount Pleasant areas. It's huge and absolutely stunning. So as you can see, as part of the Avoca Ravine or the Vale of Avoca, behind me you see the park and also plenty of condos and plenty of residences available for sale and for rent. Rosehill Reservoir here, which is the integral part of Toronto water system, is within the David Balfour Park. This reservoir was completed in 1874 and holds 280 million liters of water. This reservoir is serving 675,000 people across downtown to midtown Toronto. So another little piece of Toronto and Deer Park history for you. So we are now in the heart of Deer Park, the hustle and bustle of Yonge and St. Clair. Only 2 minutes, 3 minutes walk from Balfour Park that we were just visiting. St. Clair is kind of, you can compare it to Bloor Street. What Bloor Street is for Rosedale, St. Clair is for Deer Park. It has all the big banks, shopping areas, from grocery to cafes to restaurants, all of it is right here. But at the same time, 2 minutes to the left, 2 minutes to the right, you get into such a peace and quiet. So in the middle of all of this, 2 minutes to the left, you get to Vale of Buca, and 2 minutes to the right, you're at the beginning of Forest Hill, the very quiet residential area. So to compare it to Rosedale and Summerhill and Moore Park, it's very similar, just in a smaller scale. So now that we are on St. Clair Avenue, with all the shops and restaurants and cafes, I'm gonna go to Cucina. It is definitely in the running for one of the best pizzas in midtown Toronto. So let's go check it out. So I wanted to show you an example of an entry-level condominium. This is a great example of a beautiful one-bedroom apartment in Deer Park area. This building is 28-story high, called the Diamond, and it is at 99 Foxbar. I mean, look at the neighborhood, the view, the location. And for $585,000 asking price, it comes to approximately $850 per square foot for this site. It's a 700 square feet apartment. I think has everything that maybe a young couple or a young professional would need to get into the market. 700 square feet, very good size bedroom, great size bathroom, spectacular views. This building has gorgeous views, particularly any apartment that is facing south, and unobstructed views. The entire south view is residential, and nobody's gonna build in front of this building on the south side. You can even see the lake from here. Think about it. We have the view. We have the most magnificent green space all around. We also get the convenience of Yonge and St. Clair, Avenue Road and St. Clair, which is filled with shops and restaurants and walking to St. Clair subway station and buses. It's endless. Also, within the building, we get immaculate amenities, including 24-hour concierge, guest suite, party room, underground access to Longo's and LCBO, Starbucks, and the Imperial Club. The reason it is called the Imperial Club, it's because it used to be the Imperial Oil headquarters, and now it is known as the Imperial Plaza. So these two buildings are connected underneath, and that's where you get all the facilities. They share the facilities at the Imperial Club. I've been there, and it feels like a private club, because you get a huge gym with everything you might need. Great swimming pool, steam room, gym, yoga room, theater, squash courts, golf simulator, and game room. I mean, what else do you need? And you get all of this within the relative affordability. I mean, affordable is relative and subjective, but within these areas, to buy a 700 square feet, one bedroom apartment for $585,000, it's actually affordable, particularly when it comes with so many perks. One thing that impressed me from day one about this building is the symmetrical pillars that are used. So far, any apartment that I've seen in 99 Foxbar didn't have any unusual or awkward kind of pillar in the middle of somewhere that obstructs a view or destroys the layout of the inside the apartment. So the architecture is quite impressive. Deer Park is great in terms of finding smaller homes, mid-sized homes, and townhomes. Generally, townhomes are averaging in the Deer Park area anywhere between 1.6 to 3.5 million, depending on the size. But possibility of finding a townhome for around 1.6, 1.7 is much higher in Deer Park than places like Rosedale. Now we are looking at a townhouse that could easily accommodate a family under a $2 million range. The townhouse was fully renovated in 2023. So it's like a brand new home. The home is on 4 levels, and downstairs, the ground level has a separate entrance. So it can give privacy to someone who wants to, the family members can have more privacy downstairs, or it could be rented out with 3+1 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and perfectly situated on St. Clair Avenue, walking distance to all the shops and transit and schools even. This is really an ideal home and a location for a family. So with the price tag of 1.9 million, with everything that this home has to offer in the heart of the Deer Park area, I think is a great investment. I've been to homes not far from here that there were a total gut job for more expensive than this. And this is more than 2,500 square feet. And townhouses, as I said, the small homes and townhouses are more readily available in Deer Park than Yonge and Summerhill or Rosedale area. This townhouse is a perfect blend of urban living with a family edge to it. Like upstairs, the 3rd floor is the Jack and Jill bedroom. It's perfect for kids. So it's like their own little oasis upstairs for children. And we are in the heart of Deer Park, right on the corner of St. Clair and Avenue Road, on the edge of Forest Hill. You can't get any better than this. And before we leave, I have to mention that parking. In Midtown and downtown Toronto, parking is like pure gold. So this townhouse, being at the corner, not only it has a private garage, but look at the front part, the frontage. You can easily park 3 cars here, plus the garage. So another plus about Deer Park is the rental facility. Like, there are quite a few upscale rental buildings that if someone is not really ready to invest and wants to experience the neighborhood without buying a property, this is the area you can find brand new luxury rentals, like the one right here at the corner of Avenue Road and Lansdale. You can find low rises, high rises, from condos to co-ops to rentals. There is option for everyone. At the same corner of Avenue Road and Lansdale, we have the Upper Canada College, one of the best private schools in the country. And in this area, Deer Park, we have plenty of private and public schools that are well known around the country. To name a few, Linden Private School, De La Salle, the Catholic School, and then we have public schools like the Brown Public School and the Deer Park Public School. So one thing that you can find a lot of is education in Deer Park. So if you want to know where some of the great minds of Canadian history went to school, they probably went somewhere in Deer Park. So what makes neighborhoods like Deer Park, Annex, Rosedale, Summerhill, Moore Park great, I believe, is the history, because it gives these neighborhoods so much character. When you walk around these streets, history of Toronto comes alive. Yes, of course, Toronto has many great suburb areas that are fantastic for families. But what makes these areas very unique is the combination of what they have to offer. From shopping to schools to variety of rentals, condos, townhomes, semi-detached, and all kinds of residential and commercial areas that mix together. So the combination of urban living with lots of people around, but at the same time, these parks and hiking trails and ravines and the shops, restaurants, makes these areas quite unique. So the purpose of this video to begin with was to shine light on yet another pocket in Toronto that is not necessarily known by everyone, to show you bits and pieces of our vast city that might not be so obvious at the first glance. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to contact us if you have questions about this neighborhood, Deer Park, Rosedale, Moore Park, Summerhill, Yorkville, Annex, all these great midtown neighborhoods and beyond. See you next time, and hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss the next video.